Dun, 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 dun,
Kilted
Kilted balls.
balls.
You were actually ahead of
Yeah.
me today.
Yeah.
Man, we kind of had a groove thing going there.
Yeah, that was awesome.
I liked it. I liked it. Welcome back, listeners, to another
Yes.
episode of Kilted Balls. It's been a freaking great week. If you didn't see it, Kilted's book was on Kindle for free last week. Free. I downloaded it. Downloaded
Awesome.
it for sure.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, quite a few. Actually, I guess I don't have anything to compare it to, but 36 people downloaded it.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
That's
I'm super
amazing.
happy. So hopefully, I mean, they say that 10% of those will turn into reviews. So I have a long ways to go. So the goal is 50. There's some of the things in the program that they talk about to do to get different reviews. But yeah, super excited.
Yeah, but still, how many reviews do you have?
0.
That can't be true because I for sure reviewed it.
Huh. So the last time I looked, now, yeah, it says 0 reviews. I don't know. And you got it. You got it and reviewed it. So that would be weird that it's not on there. So I have to look. This is through one side. I'll have to look through a different side to see where that is. But yeah. Oh, you know why? Okay, I know exactly why. Because you are too close to me. Like close friends and family, they'll take them down. And I've sent you stuff from my Amazon account before. They talk about it in one of the classes. Like you can't, like really close friends and family can't review your stuff, or they'll take it down.
Well,
They don't always take it down, but they can.
that would be true if I had done it under my name.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know why it's not there. But yes, they'll come.
Well, and sometimes it takes 2 or 3 days.
Yeah.
So maybe, but at least for sure had one review. So anyway,
Awesome.
listeners, if you
So
read
excited.
his book, give him a little shout out, give him a quick review. As we talked about it before the episode, a lot of you are our friends. It's not asking a freaking lot to like write a review or fill out a Google form or like write a letter for somebody. Yeah, I'm talking to you. Like that's not a big ask. So, Ball and Kilted are asking you right now to give them a quick review. It seriously takes 20 seconds out of your life, and it would mean a ton to Kilted. So,
Ton.
give them a little shout out. That'd be amazing.
Yep. An honest review. That's really. I mean, if you read it and you think it stinks, then I'd like to hear that so I know what to fix for future stuff.
Yeah, don't do that, people. Like Kilted is super nice and he's amazing. If it sucks, you tell him in person, or just send it to me and I'll tell him.
Just don't leave a review. Yeah, I guess that's the thing too.
He can fix it for the future. Like if you just tell me and I'll be like, hey, you sucked on this, this, and this, and I'll pretend it's from me, right? And he won't know the difference because I'm a jerk half the time anyway. So
no, but I would like to hear. I guess you don't have to leave it. They do say that. Like if people hate it, you can kind of ask them to not. So I'm so sad. I don't know if this happened today.
I can see it. There. Is that coffee?
I have no idea. No, it's not coffee because I stopped drinking coffee. Well, I have decaf here and there, but no, I didn't have any coffee today. But I did go to a science fair. So the science fair was fun. The kids had their science fair today.
Nice.
Each grade did something different. Kindergartners did. They made ice cream. So made ice cream, took pictures and stuff like that. And then first graders built cool stuff from garbage. Second graders had like little terrariums. So they did some pretty cool stuff. So yeah.
That's kind of amazing.
Oliver's in 4th grade. They did the old volcano. So yeah. Good times.
That is so much fun. And hopefully the kids had a good time.
Yeah, they did. They always enjoyed hanging out at the school. Like we're like, well, it's important. Gina's like, are you riding with me? I was like, it's kind of important. I'm gonna go.
That's kind of important. I agree. I agree. I think it'd be amazing. So
I had said that I might get on my soapbox today. This is something I've been thinking about all week. And we've talked about it before. We both consider ourselves pretty purple.
Pretty purple.
But we have picked on the far right.
Oh yeah,
right?
For sure.
Yep. So I need to take a second and call out the far left. Like we talked about Elon a little bit a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
But for a whole group of people, for this person to be your hero, to the person you hate the most, it boggles my mind. Like, yes, I think I've talked about this. I don't love that Elon tied his horse to the Trump train, but I don't know him personally. I don't know what his actual beliefs were. I know that when I was driving my Tesla around, people called me granola and this and that, and I was a super far lefty. So it's weird to me that there's so much hate and people like bombing cars and spraying, like spray painting Teslas. Like, that is ridiculous. Like, where's the love? Why do so many people go to that far extreme? Because the owner of the company doesn't back the guy you wanted him to back, and now all of a sudden you hate him, you call him a Nazi, and the people who bought the cars, it doesn't even have to, like, it's not like they're checking cars. Did you buy this car since Trump was elected, or have you had it for 5 years? It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous.
What about the
and if we lose listeners, I'm totally fine with that. If you're that kind of person where you're going to throw paint on someone's new Tesla, then shame on you.
What about the far right people who are now in love with Elon and passionate for Elon, and they hated him 6 months ago, and now they're like, oh my gosh, I wish I could blow Elon. He's my favorite. He's the best. Look at all the great things. I have a cousin who writes on Facebook all the time, I can't believe you people are hating him. I love Elon. He's the best thing that's ever happened to this country. I'm like, I saw your posts from 3 years ago where you hated Elon. And now you've gone passionate the other way.
It's so like friends of the show. Even if you're new here, like, welcome, you're our friend.
Yay.
Like, please think for yourself. You don't have to follow the mob and do stupid stuff and destroy property. Like, it's ridiculous to me. And I've noticed it because I have a friend who is very left, and that's super awesome. But he's like talking about, and that's what stemmed from it, because I saw that and I started noticing other people talk about it, and just like the random stuff that shows up on my feed, because that's what I look at. So I see it, but it's just like, oh my gosh, like it doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, let me.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. No,
just one quick thing, and because I saw this meme, that's what made me think. I'm like, I need to talk about this. Did you see it? It's the one that says, "Oh, I'm banning SpaceX. I don't care about them. I'm backing NASA because they don't hire, or they're not backed by Nazis, or something about Nazis and NASA." Like, and it's the bear who's like looking sideways. Like, literally, NASA brought in all the Nazis they could who were scientists to work on their stuff.
Well, I think they were getting them away from the Nazis, weren't they?
They were trying. I don't know exactly the time frame, but there were, from my understanding, there were people who were actually Nazis who actually came to the United States and who actually worked for NASA.
I mean,
go ahead. What were you going to say?
I guess, like,
was
maybe?
Operation Paperclip?
No, I'm just. So there were so many things there that were amusing to me. So I've got a lot of laughter internally.
Irritated. Like, just love people. Who cares if they don't agree with you?
Well, let's hit these in reverse order.
Okay.
Like, when we talk about NASA hiring Nazis, like, when did Nazis stop becoming a thing?
When did they stop becoming a thing?
Yeah, so like Nazis were in power when, and then they were out of power and totally ostracized by everybody during when? Like, when was it?
Isn't that like World War II?
Yeah, it was like World War II, right? They were in power, killed a whole bunch of people, and the world like booted them all, right?
Okay. So
Yes.
when did NASA start?
1958.
Okay.
So,
So maybe that's wrong. Okay. I apologize. That's my mistake. I know they did bring in a bunch of scientists. I just assumed some of those
I
scientists were.
believe what people were mad about were that they could have been bringing in communists.
Okay.
Right, the 50s, 60s, like they were
Mhm.
really a lot of anti-communism sentiment,
Mhm.
right? We were just getting ready to go into the Cold War. So, I don't know, maybe they brought in Nazis, I don't know.
Well,
Like,
thank you for fact checking that. It made sense to me because I've heard other things about United States bringing Nazis in for as scientists. So,
yeah.
like, I didn't even think about the dates.
So I don't
See, good
know.
job.
I don't
fell into it.
I don't know anybody. Yeah, well, it's feeding your story, right? And that's the
Yeah,
thing.
exactly.
That's what people do. You're mad about that thing, and so you're like, so you believe whatever reinforces the beliefs, right?
Mhm.
And
Yep.
that's what humans do. Like, and yeah, that yes, people, that does mean that we are not very different from the rest of you, right? Like
Mhm.
we'll like buy into things that reinforce our stories. It's really
Yeah.
really hard to be skeptical and not believe things. Like I find myself doing that. Like I'll see it and I'll be like, yeah, and then I'll be like, wait,
Yeah.
is it
That doesn't make any
real? Does
sense.
it right? Like, and I have to like, but the difference is, like in all honesty, like I spend a lot of time working on that facet of my humanity, right? Like that's part of
Mhm.
my gig, right?
Yeah.
So that like I try to check myself and not do that. And
Yeah.
like that's not something you ever have to practice except for within your own sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like my wife says that all the time. She's like, I'm in an echo chamber and like everything reinforces my beliefs and so then I just don't question any of it. And I'm like, right,
Mhm.
it's super hard to question everything. It's painful, right? Like it
Yeah.
because you're always questioning stuff, right? But
Mhm.
like when we're mad about people ruining Teslas, that hits home because you had a Tesla, right?
Yeah.
Like you love that. You'd been so mad if somebody like hurt your Tesla. I remember you guys parking that sucker away from everybody so nobody would
Yeah.
park near your Tesla.
Yeah. Well, I like parking at the last spot, anyways. But
Yeah,
even
and I
more
don't know.
so.
I don't know who's hurting Teslas, who's damaging Teslas, who's doing whatever, right? Like we've talked about this.
I've seen videos where people are throwing stuff or cussing at people or kicking Teslas and stuff
Yeah.
like
And
that.
I'm like way not in the news cycle, so I don't watch that stuff.
Yeah.
I do know that if I were one of the people, let's pick something really easy and mundane, right? And it doesn't matter if I was a supporter of Elon or not a supporter. If I got a
Yeah.
letter from Elon and his people that said, hey, you need to tell me everything you did this week or you're fired tomorrow,
Oh, yeah.
I'd be pissed. If he fired me, I'd be pissed. If he laid me off, I'd be pissed. If he went through my department
agree.
and took all of my stuff, I would be pissed, right? Like you
Mhm.
got to remember if you're one of those people,
Yeah.
he has no right to be there. Right?
Exactly.
He has no right to be there. And so having somebody who has no right to be there come in and people, honestly, all of you, if somebody came into your place of business, a random person came into your place of business and was like, hey, you need to start doing it this way or you're done. You're out of here.
Yeah.
Come on, you've got to tell me you'd be feeling some kind of way. Right?
Yeah.
Like
I don't blame people that are upset with him. It's the people getting upset with car owners
yes. But what I'm saying
because
they're taking it out on a symbol.
Yes.
And that's what people do. They're mad at him, so they're taking it out on the symbol, which the thing that's most linked in people's mind with Elon is Tesla, right?
Mhm.
It's like the largest thing. I mean, and I get that, but I also get the fact that he didn't make Tesla.
Yeah.
So, like, But it's symbols are a funky thing. Symbols are a
Yeah.
funky thing.
Yeah.
And Teslas have become a symbol of Elon, and so when people are driving a Tesla truck, which you and I were both really interested in Tesla trucks, right?
Yep. Yep.
Like that was a thing, and but now that's become a symbol. It's like people in the South getting so mad about the Confederate flag, right? Like that's a thing. But that's because it's become a symbol for racism. It's
Yeah.
like the swastika. The swastika's become a symbol of Nazis. You don't get to wave the swastika around. Like it doesn't matter what it originally meant or what the purpose was.
Yeah.
And I
And if
feel
it was 1,000 years old before they picked it up or whatever.
Yes. Yes. Well, like the Nazi salute. Like people, if they even pretend to do the Nazi salute, they are ostracized, right? They are crushed. And literally, that's how you were taught going back, right? During World War One and stuff. That's how you were taught to do the national anthem. Like that. You didn't put your hand over your heart. You did the Nazi salute because it wasn't called the Nazi salute then.
Yeah.
But then once it became that, then we didn't do that anymore.
Yeah. In the last 60 years, how many kids are named Adolf, and how many people have a Charlie Chaplin mustache? But it's not only a Charlie Chaplin mustache.
Right. Yeah, we had a kiddo who got in huge trouble, and I had a teacher who got into huge trouble once because for a wax history museum, a kid dressed up as Adolf Hitler for the wax museum to talk about the atrocities he committed. And that teacher got in so much trouble for allowing that to happen because you couldn't even allow a symbolism in the school, no matter what your purpose was, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, that's a bad decision. And so that's the bad part of this. You and I, obviously, we don't think you should go around destroying people's property. That's not cool, right? We thought the same thing with people dumped blood on people wearing a fur coat.
Yep.
Like that's not right. You shouldn't do that because of, you shouldn't take it out on other people for your beliefs like that. On the other hand, I do understand symbolism and trying to break symbolism, and we're in a tricky spot right now where I feel bad for those owners, but you're gonna be the target because you're now a symbol of that. And he's honestly right now he's done some things, and you can make some really good arguments that what he's done is not good.
Yeah,
and
some crappy things for sure.
And history's like that's the thing. Like people are getting upset, and some people are like, "Listen, he's finding the money. He's doing all of this stuff. Wouldn't you want somebody to find somebody stealing money?" Yeah, whatever. Of course we do. But we're also hearing that he hasn't found the money, that it's all smoke and mirrors, and they're just saying that. And so, like, history will tell, did they actually find stuff or didn't they find stuff? Right now, like we talked about this already, the only person telling you that they found the money is the person who's, like, what the hell do you think he's going to tell you? Like, in all honesty, people, what... They bring Elon in to find government fraud. How would that look if within the first week he said, yeah, there's no government fraud here? Like, yeah, that's a great way to keep your gig, right?
Yeah.
Of course he's going to find fraud. Tons of fraud. Fraud every day he's going to find. So much fraud. Durr?
Yeah. I didn't have a chance to look this up, but my buddy EB was talking about it, and I want to look it up and find out. The premise makes sense.
Yeah.
But that have you heard this in Nebraska? Like a bunch, because there are a lot of farms in Nebraska. If anyone doesn't know, if you've ever been out there, lots of farms. But a lot of a lot of farmers out there, and the people who work the farms aren't necessarily legal. So when all this deportation stuff started happening, a bunch of people just bounced. He said that he saw something that like Nebraska could possibly go bankrupt in the next few months because they don't have any people working, not any people, but when I think he said 60% or 70% of the workers were illegals, and they're just like, bye bye. And I haven't checked the map, but I think every single election Nebraska has been one color, and I don't think it ever flip flops. But it's wild. It's really wild. And he said he was going to do that. We were talking about that a couple weeks ago.
Yes.
Like, people are getting upset over the stuff that Trump said he was going to do. Like, it's a F around and find out.
Yeah. I mean, my wife was sad. Like, she's been grumpy about a lot of the humanitarian stuff, right? Like, she listened to the president of Zimbabwe talk and the pain they're going through and all of the funding was cut. And she's like, those people are hurting, those people are starving. And I'm like, yes. She's like, how can we as a country condone this? And I'm like, you don't understand. That is exactly what 36% of the population wanted, right? Our own buddy said, yeah, I don't think there's going to be a world war with Trump because he's going to close the borders. We're not going to be going outside of our borders. We're going to keep everything in. Why are we helping Ukraine? We should be helping Nebraska. We should be helping North Carolina. We should be doing this. I go, they are in full support of not helping Zimbabwe. They're like, that's Zimbabwe's deal. And I go, and again, right? Like, I try to see things from other people's point of view, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, I understand their point of view. I don't agree. Just to be clear, I think if you have resources, you should help people less fortunate than you. And I don't think your less fortunate should be determined by country or creed or color, right? And
I've heard, I want to say, I can't even count how many times I've ever heard that we actually have enough food on this planet for everyone to be fine.
We pay people to not grow food because we grow too much food.
Yep, I've heard that before.
I don't know if you all know this, but my family's farmers. One of them's listening to this. He's probably listening to this. Hey, bro. He'll tell you, you can get paid to not farm. Right? Like, it's a thing. And I have a wondering here, and some of you may know the answer to this, and I don't know, right? But I have issues mentally, and I get this is a me problem, right? But I really get rubbed the wrong way about missionary trips, right? Like, people always take these missionary trips to, like, Haiti to, like, help out. Right? Or to Mexico to help out.
Haven't we?
Right? And I'm always like, you're the same person who told me, F the immigrants. We shouldn't let them in the country, but you want to go help Haiti. Well, yes, they're less fortunate than us. You're the one who told me they should stay in Haiti. Yes, they should stay in Haiti. We should go to them. Okay, why aren't you helping them?
They need to learn about Jesus at home.
Yeah, I'm like, how about the people here who need Jesus? How about the people in Nebraska who need farm help? Why don't you go be a missionary in Nebraska and help them plant the fields? Like, we have poor people here. We have homeless here. You could go be a missionary to them. Oh, no, that's not Haiti. That's not Africa. Like, what? People. And I want to know, like, where are those people? Are they against? Are they like, yeah, we shouldn't be sending aid to Zimbabwe. We shouldn't be sending aid to Ukraine. I'm going to go do a missionary trip to Zimbabwe. Like, yeah, those are the mental gymnastics that I'm like, I don't get.
Well, some of those people believe if Zimbabwe were following their, and I'm not knocking on Christians as a whole, because it's a whole bunch of people who do that, and some are considered Christians, some don't consider themselves Christians. Doesn't really matter. We're talking about missionaries in general. But the people who do that tend to believe if that country believed what they believed, they wouldn't be in that problem. That they're in that problem because God is punishing them because they don't believe what they believe.
Right.
An all loving, all caring God who only talks about love is punishing people because they don't follow the right book or system or whatever you want to call it. It's mental gymnastics.
Yeah, it makes zero sense. Speaking of religion, we've been hitting that a little bit lately. We have a great interview coming up. I sprang this on Kilted today. For those of you who don't know, one of the people we interviewed in the past, Amy, about her entrepreneurial journey and everything she's done, she is right now becoming Catholic. Like, it's a thing, which I think is amazing that you can do that, at this stage of your life when she's basically a senior citizen, right?
Wait a second.
But anyway, I think that's amazing, but it's given her, she has always been really interested in Christianity and Catholicism. She was born going to Christian churches, right? She has been going to the Catholic Church with the family as long as I can remember. I shouldn't say as long as I can remember, but as long as I've been with her. So she's got a really unique perspective, and she knows so much. And so we're going to go do a deep dive and see where she's at on this faith journey and how this faith journey came about and what's led her here, and kind of dig into that. But here's the thing for you listeners. I don't know, we'll probably do it in the next week or two, right? When we get all of our schedules ironed out. But we would love to hear questions to ask her. What are some questions you have about Christianity, about Catholicism, about converting, about growing deeper in your faith or going away from your faith? What are thoughts you have? Put those in the comments, shoot us messages, join our Discord. And when we interview her, we'll ask those questions. We'll ask where she's at on this, how she's grown. And, I might have things to say too. So
that's pretty awesome.
We're going to let you be the moderator.
I was surprised when I first heard that. I was like, oh, I didn't realize she was doing that. And so, that's another thing too I would love to hear.
Oh my gosh, yes. About. I'm just excited. I think
because it's not like she was just worn down, because it's not something that it's pushed on her.
No.
So it's just a choice that she's made.
I'm a real firm believer. We've talked about this, right? That always lead to the way, right? Always lead to the way. It's in one of our journals, and that I don't have to push Catholicism on you, right? I don't have to push Christianity on you.
If it's a fit, it's a fit.
And what I need from you people, is I need you to love people, right? I need that. I need you to have empathy and caring for people. And if you treat everybody with love and you make your decisions out of love and you have caring and you have empathy, everything else is going to fall into place. Right? As the good book has said, right? You can't be doing that stuff and not actually be doing the stuff. It's not a trick.
Actually, it's funny. I was listening to some Deepak Chopra this weekend, and he was talking. He almost said the exact same thing. Just it's all about love. If you look at everything out there, all these people talk about, it all goes back to the same thing.
It does, and it doesn't even matter which person you're talking to. It all goes there, right? And that should be the focus. Right? And if it's not, if that's not the thing, that's where, you were getting so upset earlier, that's where I get sad, right? When people are I don't want to help Ukraine, and I'm like, why? And you're like, well, because of this and this and this, and I'm like, okay, so which part of that is the love? If you were saying, I don't want to help Ukraine because I worry right now that my fellow Americans are being hurt by that. My people in North Carolina are being hurt by that. And I want to help them. And I want to take that money from Ukraine and I want to put it to those people in North Carolina. Okay, that's coming from a place of love. And I can get that. But if you're like, hey, I don't think we should fund Ukraine, like, I don't think we should help them. Why? Well, because I think we should focus just on America. Like, what about America? Like, America! America!
Yeah.
Build walls! Like, okay, now you're going the wrong way. You're going the wrong way, right? Like, everything should be from that point of view, in my humble opinion.
I agree 100%.
Right? And you follow that, then everything else will track, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not going to be sad with you. Like, I get that.
Like obviously we all disagree on different, and there's some things that even you and I'm sure we could figure something out that we really disagree on.
Oh my gosh, I know one right off the top of my head.
What's that?
The main sin that you commit, right? Like, we were always going to disagree on that.
And that's only for our OGs.
That's only for the OGs. Only OGs know that stuff.
It took me a second. Like, when you were talking about it, I actually thought you were going to say religion. But yeah, it's all like, yeah, just my opinion. Need more love.
Am I making you blush? Because I think your face got redder.
Oh, did it?
Yeah,
No. So
I think so.
I noticed it earlier. I'm like, my face is red.
Well, I think it's because you got fired up, and when you get fired up, your face gets red.
That's true. I'm sure that's it. Although I've been moving some stuff around here in the warehouse, and it's been amazing.
Yeah, like the feng shui, or like it's a workout.
No, I'm messing with the feng shui for sure. Like, this is probably all going to be different next week's episode.
I'm excited. I just love the picture in the background. I think that's fantastic.
So that's a funny picture. So it's probably been like 2 years ago. Oliver and Morgan were working on artwork. They had a big piece of, we got some of those giant things of paper, like the big rolls, and they were painting. And Morgie's like, oh, do you want this? And I'm like, yeah, like, I would love to take that, Morgie. And so he gave it to me, and I put it in a frame, and I put it in our bedroom. Nice. It's a big picture just like this. And I said, Oliver, I'll let me take yours. I'll put it in a frame. He said, I want you pay me $100 for it. I said, you are more than welcome to have someone pay you $100 for it. It's not going to be me. And so, like, a year and a half later, he's like, okay, because it was like just laying around. I kept on moving it and trying to keep it safe. Mm-hmm. He's like, all right, how about you give me $5? I'm like, okay, I'll give you $5 for that picture. So I put it in the frame, and it was like in a different spot. But like I said, I've been moving stuff around, so
nice.
I figured I'd average. And those are different characters he's going to write a story about, I guess. So we'll see.
Well worth $5. Worth $5.
That's well worth $5.
Yes. Mm-hmm. No, I agree. Nice job, Ollie. See, that's good businessmanship. You start off high. You can always go lower.
You can always, but Morgie didn't get anything.
Morgie got zero.
His picture's been displayed for a lot longer.
That's true. And it's probably had a lot more people looking at it and then making offers on his future stuff, right?
That's true.
Like they come into your bedroom.
Yeah. Same when they're hanging out in the bedroom.
Oh my gosh, that is like fantastic. Well, listeners, this is kind of a like rambling episode, but I think we got some big, cool, exciting things there. Seeing Kilted get fired up is always great for me. I'm
glad we ended on a positive note.
It gives me a warm feeling in here when you get fired up. Should be a great episode next week. I am attending a computer conference for the next 2 or 3 days, and I always come away from those super inspired and totally geeked up, kind of like when we go to VCon. So hopefully I'll have new, crazy, good things for you all.
That's awesome.
I really want to remind you all, read Kilted's book, leave him a review.
And it is, I don't have a hard copy yet, but it is, if you haven't seen the link, it is the, is it on our, we don't have a Facebook. It's on X. It's all the places where stuff needs to be. But if you need to look it up on Amazon, it's the Ultimate AI and the Future Guidebook. And I do have a pen name, Elias Nova Verge.
I will put a link to it in the comments. So I'll put a link in the comments, people. Check out his book, leave a review. It'll be awesome. So hopefully you all have a great week. Hopefully things go splendid for you. Hopefully you're living in a place of love. And this is Ballbuster signing off.
Kilted Dragon Jerry, love you all.